Hey everyone, Homostar Fan 13 here, and welcome to the next game collection video, and this time it's all on the PlayStation 3. So I'm going to try and make this one video. If it's two videos, I apologise, but I feel like I've got a lot of games here that I can kind of group together, and a lot that I don't think I'd have too much to talk about. So I should hopefully get this in one. If it's two, again, I'm sorry, but anyways, let's just go straight into it, and we'll start with the few first parties like PlayStation exclusives I have. So I guess we'll start with this one, PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale. Yeah, man, like I like this game. I think it's okay, but Sony Smash Bros. Sounds like a good idea, but like it's like the problem with these games I have is that it's like they try so hard to be different to Smash that it ends up not being as fun. So like it's not like KOing them by knocking off the stage. Like you've got to like get your like super meter up, and you can only kill them with your super meter, and it's like that's just not as fun as Smash. And I don't think it's too much of a surprise then that we didn't get another one. And also the roster's not great. Like there's no Crash, no Spyro. This was back when Activision were hoarding them. Like there's no Lara Croft isn't in here, and that. Like you obviously got some big names. You have got some Sony names in there. Like got Ratchet and Clank's there, Sackboy, Nathan Drake, Kratos, and Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper. Proper rappers in this game, which is cool. So like there are some big sort of names in this game, but and like there's also no Snake, there's no Cloud. Like just a lot of like characters that you would like associate with Sony just aren't here. Like it's just funny that Snake and Cloud were in Nintendo Smash Bros. Was in Nintendo's game, but not Sony's. When you would argue that they're way more like linked to Sony than they are Nintendo, but whatever. I still think it's fine, and I actually wouldn't be against them trying again. Like, I mean, then again, like Smash Bros. Clones have not been successful lately. Like Nickel Star Brawl wasn't successful. Multiverses has sank very badly. So maybe there is no. Maybe Sony. Maybe Smash Bros. Is just so good that it's hard for any other company to make another version of it. But if they wanted to do another version, I'd buy it. And I think Sony's like getting a lot better with their first party stuff now. Anyway, speaking of, Little Big Planet 2. Yeah, this is actually the only Little Big Planet game I have physically. I had Little Big Planet 3 when it came out, but I didn't really play it that much. Now I've got it digitally, but I'll get to that when I get to it. But I never owned Little Big Planet 1. I only ever owned this one, and you know what? I actually do really like this game. I mean, again, it might be because it's the only one I've played, but I do think this is the best one. I think the fact they actually put like a proper story mode in here was fun. Like they've got like a bunch of like unique characters in it that you can like unlock. Yeah, and obviously best part of Little Planet was creating levels. Well, not creating levels per se for me, more playing levels. Like me and my friends would constantly just all the time go and find random levels and play through them. It was just so much fun. The shark survival missions, if you ever played those ones, still so much fun. Like I had my friend round, last year, and we played Little Planet 3, and we went straight onto the shark survival, and it's still as much fun as ever. So yeah, like I think you can't play this game online anymore. I believe that the servers were shut down or something. Like I think they got hacked or something. So I think the Little Planet 3 servers are still up, but not Little Planet 2. So if you want to play, I guess just get Little Planet 3 because it's basically the same game. But I still think this has got an alright story mode. Like if you want to go into the story mode, I think Little Planet 2 is okay. But let's be honest, no one's playing Little Planet for the story. And the last one for the first party stuff, and probably one of the best games I have on PS3. Ratchet and Clank Back in Time. Yeah, I actually beat this game last year. Yeah, it's really good. This is actually the only Ratchet and Clank game I've beaten. Like I'm trying to get into the Ratchet and Clank series. I think I've only got this. This is actually the only one I've really got. Like I've got this, the remake on PS4, and the new one on PS5. But this is the only one I've actually like beaten. And yeah, I thought it was really fun. I thought it was really good. Like hopefully we see more of Ratchet and Clank in the future. Like, I think Rift Apart did well enough that hopefully Sony will make more. Like Insomniac Games are really becoming Sony's best third-party developer right now. I mean, they own. Well, actually, they're not third-party anymore because they own them. So yeah, they're first-party now. Looking forward to Spider-Man 2 when that comes out, and their Wolverine game. But yeah, not a lot to say. Just a really, really good game. I think I'd say this is probably one of the. Again, I want to say it's the best one, but it's the only one I've really played, so I can't really say that. So yeah, really good. Alright, next up we've got the Sonic section, and let's just get it over with. Yeah, I had to get it, to be honest. Like, sometimes you need to buy bad games just to find out if they're really bad, and yeah, it's bad. It's just not good. I know people are trying to defend it, but it's just not good. The story's awful. The gameplay is bad. There's so many glitches in there. It's just not good, and basically it very nearly kills the Sonic franchise, if we're being honest. Just... Like, just generally, what do you want me to say about it? What do you want me to say about this that no one else has said before? Everyone said everything about this game, huh? I mean, I like Silver. It's just a shame that he's boring to play as, and it's just a shame about Silver, you know. I actually think he's a cool character, but it's just a shame that he was invented for this game, huh? And also, Princess Elise is probably the worst Sonic character of all time. Like, I think it's hard to find someone more hated. It's probably hard to find someone more hated than her. Huh? But yeah, just get rid of this. Next up, we've got a more mixed game, Sonic Unleashed. Not played this that much, to be honest. I've had this when I was younger. Didn't really play a lot of it. Well, I played quite a bit of it, but then I sold it. And I don't know why I sold it, but I've got it now. And yeah, I've not played enough of this to have like a full opinion on it. I really want to. Like, I really want to get into this because of all the Sonic games, this is probably the one I've got like probably the most interesting one. Like, it's probably the most mixed reactions I've seen. Is that from what I can gather, the Sonic gameplay is like one of the best it's ever been. And then you've got the Werehog stuff, which is way more divisive. Like, some people like the Werehog stuff, some people don't. I guess I would argue that the Werehog is fine. It just clashes with the Sonic gameplay, and you'd almost just wish the Werehog was its own game. Like, it just interrupts the Sonic stuff. And also, I know about the other issue with this game is getting the medals, and that's something I'm not excited for. Like, I'm gonna really hate doing that. But yeah, I look forward to like sort of sitting down and playing this game. Like, I just finished the Sonic Frontiers, so maybe when I've got free time I'll go and play this one. Next up, we've got one of the spin-offs, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. I really like this game. I think this is like a really underrated racing game. Like, I like the Sonic racing games. This is definitely one. I think this is like, it's either this one or Transformers for me is the best. But like, this one's obviously good because it's not just Sonic characters. There's got Sega characters in it, and it's always cool when they sort of put in a bunch of characters. And like, there was lots of characters in here that I never even heard of, and like the guy from Shenmue, I think Rio. Yeah, that's his name. Like, never even heard of didn't know who he was until this game, and then I played it, and now he's like my favorite character in this game. And then also the guys from Virtua Fighter, because they like drove the Outrun car, and I really like that as well. A big issue with this game for me is that basically the PS3 version is the worst version, because if you buy it on Wii, you get to play as your Mii's, and if you have it on Xbox, you get to play as your Avatar and Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah? It's like, why was there nothing? There's no exclusive characters on the PlayStation version. This is technically the worst version because there's no exclusive characters. Like, yeah. I mean, okay, yeah, we might only get the Mii's, but still, that's better than nothing here. Like, couldn't they have at least put, like, Ratchet and Clank or, like, someone in this? Whatever, yeah. But look, doesn't matter because here we go. One of the best Sonic games ever, Sonic Generations. I love this game. Like, I constantly go back and forth on which is my favourite Sonic game, this or Mania. I think at the moment I'm saying Mania, but Generations is a very close second. Like, this is definitely the best 3D game in my opinion. To me, this was when they got 3D Sonic right. The boost gameplay is the best it's ever been. Classic Sonic is also fun. Like, it's why Forces was such a letdown, because it felt like they should just easily... Like, it just upsets me that we went from this to Lost World, then Boom, then Forces. It's like, did you not learn anything from this game? Did everyone who worked on this game just like get fired or something? Like, why did you not just take what this game did and just made it all better? I guess the one issue with this game, I guess, is, and it's not really an issue with this game, it's more of an issue with like later Sonic, because because this is the game that kind of started the nostalgia, like pandering to Sonic. Like, this was the first game to bring back Chemical Plant, which I am so fed up of seeing now. I'm so tired of Chemical Plant in every Sonic game now. It's not even that good of a level. Like, is that a hot take? I don't think Chemical Plant's even that fun in Sonic 2. It's just, I'm just so fed up of seeing it. And like, Sky Sanctuary as well, it's like, yeah, this was unfortunately the one that kind of like, it's almost the way it was so good that it kind of ruined later Sonic games, because they've tried to, like, they almost take the wrong lessons from this game, and they probably thought, oh, just bring back old stages and that would make people happy. It's like, well, no, it was actually good because they actually were good designed levels and it was actually fun to play. Let's just hope that they learn the lesson from Sonic Frontiers and they just work on what worked in Sonic Frontiers. Like the slow space. No, I'm not going to go more into that. I'll go into more of that when I get to the PS5 section. But yeah, Sonic Generations, fantastic game. Still probably the best soundtrack, which maybe is unfair because it's just old songs, but still fantastic. Next up, we've got the fighting game section, and first off, we've got Super Street Fighter 4. Yeah, this one's okay. Well, yeah, I like this one. Like, I think I've mentioned that I'm not the biggest Street Fighter guy, but I think this one's pretty fun. Like, again, just not really else to say about it. Like, it's got a lot of cool characters in it. Joey, Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li. Like, obviously, all the fun characters are in it. Yeah, there's nothing else to really say. Like, I think I've got the updated version on PS4, so maybe I don't think I need this copy anymore. So I might sell it at some point. But no, yeah, it's still good. Like, yeah, like I say, nothing else to really say about it. It's Street Fighter 4. Yeah, I've got a lot to say about this one though. Street Fighter Cross Tekken. It's not a bad game, but it's not really a good one either. Well, no, it's fine. It's complete. If you just want to play it as a regular fighting game, I think it's fine. But obviously, there's all the other issues with it, like the awful on-disc DLC, which was a stupid idea, and I'm so glad Capcom got called out for that because it was really bad. And I think like you've got what was it? Oh yeah, so the gems thing, which I think really like basically the gem system basically killed the competitive scene for this game, and you know, for a Street Fighter game, for a 2D fighter, that's basically a death sentence for it because it lives via the competitive scene, and it basically kills. It's like it went the other way of like sometimes there are some games that try too hard to be competitive and they kind of like alienate the casuals. This kind of went the other way around where it was too casual that it alienated the competitive scene. You've got to try and find that right balance, you know. And I don't think this one really did it. Also, this is the one that's got the weird bonus characters of Pac-Man and Bad Box Hot Mega Man. Which would have been fun if it wasn't for the fact this came out right after the cancellation of Legends 3 and all the other Mega Man games. So it felt more like they were just making fun of us, and that was just sad. But yeah, it's not terrible. Like, I'd say give it a try, I guess. I mean, I'll say one thing about this game is it made me a Tekken fan. And like I like Tekken more than Street Fighter now, so I'll say that. And that's why it kind of upsets me that we never got Tekken Cross Street Fighter, which I believe, like, I want to say they basically just confirmed, like, last year or something that it's basically done, like they're not doing it. Something like that. I think when, like, Kazuya was announced for Smash, I want to say Harada just basically said, like, yeah, we're not doing Tekken Cross Street Fighter. And considering that, like, that was announced, like, it was announced the same time as this game, and this game, like, it's over 10 years old now, I think. It's safe to say that Tekken Cross Street Fighter is never happening. I mean, we got Akuma in Tekken 7. I think that's as good as we're going to get. So, yeah. Not bad, but... speaking of a bit of, like, games that are not bad but not great. Soul Calibur 5. Yeah, this is probably, like, I'd argue the game that kind of killed Soul Calibur for a bit, because it's... This was actually my first Soul Calibur game, so I've not really got much, like, animosity to it. Like, I loved it when I was younger. Like, getting to create characters in this game was really good, and I really loved that. And obviously then Soul Calibur 6 then came out and was just, you know, better. But, like, I think it was like the people didn't like the story of it. Like, that was it. Yeah, they got rid of a bunch of, like, fan favorite characters. Like, there's no Talem's not in this game. Sasala now, he's not in it. Like, just a lot of, like, really popular characters were taken out, and I think that was like that rubbed people the wrong way. And then you got the story mode with the main character, was it Patroclus, and he's like, I remember like people saying like he's like one of the worst protagonists in like video game history because he's just not a nice character, and you don't want him to succeed, and he's like just an awful character. Yeah, like I mean when I played this game, I actually just skipped the story and I beat the story, but I just skipped all the cutscenes because I just didn't care. But yeah, like I'll let this game for introducing me to Soul Calibur, but I'm in agreement that it's not a good game. Speaking of games though that introduced me to franchises, Mortal Kombat Complete Edition. So this is the version that's got all the DLC on it, and also actually as the PS3 version I get Kratos, which is awesome. Yeah, this was the big Mortal Kombat reboot, because Mortal Kombat was basically a mess after like, you know, the PS2 era and all those games. So they just went like, screw it, we're gonna reboot the whole franchise. And I think it worked out for the best, because this really is a good game. I think go back to play it now after like Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 11 and the recently announced Mortal Kombat 12. Like, I think this is gonna be a really hard game to go back to, but I still think there's definitely some fun to it. Like, obviously, as mentioned, it made the Mortal Kombat franchise good again after like games of like mediocre stuff. It obviously like brought back all the fan favorite characters, and then like DLC characters. Oh yeah, this is one that had Freddy Krueger in it, so this kind of started the tradition of guest characters in Mortal Kombat. But I look at it, kind of started the tradition of like guest characters in general, to be honest. Like, obviously Soul Calibur was like famous for it, but this kind of started the trend to like fighting games in general of the guest character. Because yeah. But yeah, like, obviously the story mode is quite cool. I think, obviously the story mode is like, there's got that issue at the end of the story, which, I mean, I don't mean to spoil one. I think this is an old game, but like the whole thing of Sindel coming back and just killing everyone was a pretty crappy way to end the story in a way. I mean, of course, it then led to Mortal Kombat 10 and that, but I still think this is an alright game. Like, again, speaking of like the fatalities are like, they're still like interesting, but like, it's kind of fun looking past the fatalities because they're quite tame when you look at the ones now. But yeah, I still really like this game, and as mentioned, it brought me into the Mortal Kombat series, and yeah, it basically brought the Mortal Kombat series back after being dead. Yeah. And next up we've got the racing games section, and we'll start off with this game because I've technically already talked about this in my PS2 video. Stuntman Ignition. Yeah, I mentioned that I wanted to get the PS3 version, and I got it now. Yeah, it's basically the same game, just looks nicer, so if you want to hear me talk about this one, just watch my PS2 video. Next up, I think I bought this game recently, Split Second Velocity. So yeah, this is a Disney game. It's like again, typical like, it's like an arcade racing thing where like lots of like things happen, like lots of, you're like sort of racing through like, I think like parts of the track gets destroyed and that, and you've got to go through them and things like that. Yeah, really, really fun, unique racing game. And it's like the kind of racing games that I'm sad they don't make anymore. I mean, I've not played much of it, but what I have played is pretty fun. But yeah, I just wish that they made more games like this. Again, weird because it's made by Disney, and it's like very much not Disney. You know, you wouldn't see Disney do this anymore, which is a shame. But yeah, definitely would like to see them bring this game series back. Next up, Sega Rally. Yeah, I've always been a big fan of like the classic arcade racing games, and this is kind of like that. Like, I'd say this is like a version of the Sega Rally arcade machines. So yeah, it's pretty fun. Like, again, nothing much else to say. Just a fun little racing arcade racer. Yeah. Right, these next two are technically licensed games, but I'm going to do them here because I feel that they fit here more than the others. We got Colin McRae Dirt 2. This is actually a really good game. Like, I mean, it's definitely like, the graphics in this game are really good for PS3, and I've always been a big fan of the Colin McRae games, the rally stuff. Actually, I believe this was the last game to use the Colin McRae name, because I think this was the last. I think he passed away just before this came out, and then they took his name off out of respect. So because they didn't want to they didn't want to sell the games based on like they didn't want to what was the word, like they didn't want to, you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I still think this is good, and I love the Colin McRae series, and I think this is probably the best one. Like, there's just a lot of fun to be had with this game. Just typical rally racing game, still fun. And last up in the racing section, Formula 1 Championship Edition. Yeah, F1 games are always like, so I always find somewhat interesting. I think this is actually the last one I really played. Like, I've always tried to get the other ones, but I never really found them that fun. But I think this is like this was a launch title for the PS3. I want to say this was like one of the first PS3 games I ever bought. In fact, this might have been one of the games I had when it first. This might have come with my PS3. I can't remember now. No, I don't think it did. But like, still, I've had this game since it came out, and I enjoy it. I guess it's okay, but I haven't played it for a while. But just memories of like the early days of the PS3. And these last two, there's no like connection to these. They're just the last two games. First off, Rayman Origins. I actually bought this game last year. I had it when it came out, but I never really played it. But then, you know, I talked about how much I love Rayman Legends, and that made me want to play this one more. So, it made me want to go back to this one. So, I've only played a bit of it. I would still say I prefer Legends, but that might be because I've played more of Legends. But again, I definitely need to sit down and play this game more. And last up, Tales of Symphonia Chronicles. So, yeah, annoyingly, I bought this, and then they announced that they were making a HD release of the first game for Switch, which was annoying. Although I've heard apparently that version is not very good, and also this one includes the second game, so I guess at least I've still got, at least I've still got the second one, and this is a better version. Yeah, not played much of it, but I just kind of always been interested in Tales of Symphonia, so again, I'll probably sit down and play it at some point, but from what I've played, it seems okay. Yeah, I always liked the main character Lloyd. I always remembered I wanted him for Smash, because I remember, I think it was Smash Flash, the old Flash version of Super Smash Bros. He was a playable character in that game, and I actually really liked him in that game. I thought it was really cool, and it made me want him for Smash Ultimate or Smash 4, but yeah, he's too obscure. But yeah, definitely give it a try at some point.